You're listening to DraftKings Network.
We are audiostack.ai.
Combining AI writing, the best synthetic voices,
with production and delivery.
Be it ads, podcasts, or VOs for video.
Just like this ad.
How would you utilize AI audio? For free.
Go to audiostack.ai/contest.
Give us just a few details.
And you could replace this spot and be heard by millions.
See webpage for T's and C's. audiostack.ai/contest.
Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Becle, SAB the CV. Copyright 2024. Proximo. Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
This is like super unfortunate. I've been warning you guys that some of this shit was coming this way. And everyone is like, he's Chicken Little. He's talking about climate change. Can we just talk about sports and stuff? This guy always wants to talk about climate change and rain. And I've been warning you that this was coming because it keeps me up at night, Stugotz, that we work on the bay, man. We work, like, it keeps me up at night. What happens if you're self-employed and one of these 200-mile-an-hour storms comes through here and we got windows? They're lovely. And what happens to all this equipment? And what happens? And so what happens is no one can come into work today, and everyone is stuck in floods, and cars are stuck all over the place. And in the first time in show history, we've got a show postponement due to rain, due to weather conditions. We can't do the show today. Where is everybody, Chris? Like, where? I'm on a Slack all night. We can't get in there. The car's going to get flooded. The highways are flooded. There's Jessica can't come in. Lucy can't come in.
I will say this. I don't know how Chris experienced it yesterday. That was the most dangerous drive I have ever taken. The drive home yesterday.
Brutal.
Oh, my God, man. I mean, I was driving in an ocean.
Do you know how disappointing it is to me to be self-employed in the middle of the Stanley Cup final and the middle of other sports, that we can't do the show today? That we don't have the ability on a day that everyone would want to talk about sports. This is the day that climate change comes and ruins the show. When Le Batard's been trying to ruin the show with climate change talk, we made Adam McKay crazy. We made him not funny. My friend is going nuts because he's talking to climate scientists every weekend who are telling everybody, do you know how much worse it is than we ever thought it would be?
And we have a dome. We're kind of like the Marlins having a rain delay on our opening day with a dome. Like, we're covered.
Chris, what are we going to do that nobody can get in here today to do the show with us?
Actually, Tony just got here. Tony, get in here.
My man.
I'm stunned that Stugotz got. How did Stugotz get in here? Did he sleep in the clothes last night outside in the parking garage?
I did not. I left my house at 4 a.m.
It is hard to explain to people who are not in Florida what is happening in Florida, but I will tell you, having watched in the panic of the Weather Channel over the last couple of days, they're telling us on both coasts when they show the maps, it's like it's just all underwater, which is what it'll eventually be when the ocean gets here. Like, that's just coming from the sky. That's not the sky meeting with the ocean. That's just, it's raining more than it ever has. And we're like, who cares? It's just flooding in India. No, it's here. And there are tornadoes in the middle of the country, and we can't do a show today. How did you get in here, Tony?
Canoe.
I feel so bad. I really do, that Jessica and Lucy have uprooted their lives to live here when all my life this has been paradise, Stugotz.
Yeah.
It's been paradise. Living in this place has been delightful. And I've never been scared of storms. I slept through Hurricane Andrew.
Bona fides.
You did?
I slept through it.
So did I, Dan. I was 2.
It happened in Homestead, and I was in Pembroke Pines, and it was far enough away that 160-mile-an-hour winds, which seem quaint because our oceans are bathtubs now, and it's too hot. And no one can get into work. Jessica, we'll start with you. You're on Zoom. The show's postponed. I can't do it this way. This is no way to do a show.
Are we officially in a rain delay right now?
I postponed it already because look, you saw the Slack that said safety first, right? Did you believe it? Meadowlark says safety first.
I didn't believe it, but as it turns out, a man just showed up to my apartment because we have sprung a leak officially. Last night, Leeman spent the entire afternoon bailing water off of our balcony. The drains in our garage started filling up with water and backing up. And this morning we have officially sprung a leak. The washer and the dryer are in the middle of the kitchen. There's something going on with the pipes, and I'm scared. I don't know what's going on.
Well, wait, but you're not even talking about your fear from last night, which is hearing the rain not stop and hearing, like, we've had hail and tornadoes here recently, but last night, the way that it was coming in.
I like the sound of rain, though.
No, but not this
not
intensity.
that rain.
No, Jessica, well, that's not even the bad rain. Wait till the winds get here. Like, that's not the bad stuff. Jessica, what happened last night with you? And just because Valerie was trying to write some notes on a desk, and she's like, this desk is all wet because these windows are not equipped to keep this amount of rain out.
The worst part about last night was that Leeman feels justified now in owning like 7 different fishing buckets because we've just been filling them up with rainwater, and I have been trying to get rid of buckets for years. We have so many goddamn buckets because he loves to catch fish so much, and now they're all filled with rainwater, and I can't get rid of any of them.
Oh no, it's not. But
welcome to Florida.
He's good about cleaning those up because fish buckets and bait and stuff in this humidity, that can be a bad deal even if they're really clean.
I'm sick of the buckets, but we're probably going to end up buying more buckets now. I hate it here, Dan.
Okay, that's not great. That's not a great situation. It was paradise. We sold her on paradise. We told her it was going to be beautiful here and her career would thrive in the warmth. And instead, we're just now headed into hurricane season. This is just rain.
It's so bad. I lost 2 fingernails last night. Wait, other hand. I lost 2 fingernails last night.
Your hand's shaking from the nerves. You're being pelted. Your home is being pelted. Yes, your coffee
Dan,
as well.
Panther Coffee was closed. Panther Coffee is closed.
That place is never closed.
Emergency.
Yeah.
The last 3 days, Lucy, I want to bring you in here because she is not Stugotz. She is not at work either. It's just Tony and Chris. I told them last night, it's got to be safety first. We can't do a show under these conditions.
Mm-hmm. Roy is efforting to get here. I don't know where he's at.
Is he really?
Is he?
Got a text that he's on his way. So.
All right, so just forgive,
on a boat maybe? I don't know.
Please forgive me because I don't know how all the decisions get made at Meadowlark Media. Lucy was working optional today. The floods, were you told to stay home? Could you not get in here?
We had the option to stay home or come into work, whatever we felt comfortable with. Yesterday, driving home from work, I live about 3 miles from the office. Took me 45 minutes to get home, and I cried 3 separate times. I was so scared because, and that's not like, we know I cry a lot, but they were real scary tears. Like, oh no, I really don't want to die on Biscayne Boulevard. Like that's the last place I want to die. The water, like by the time I got to my car in the parking garage, which by the way, Chris and I had a nice moment yesterday. I felt like we bonded.
Yeah, we did.
Because he didn't bring an umbrella and we had to share mine. And I thought it was really nice. And then everything went down.
I'm going to be honest with you, Lucy. I saw you walking to the elevator with an umbrella, and I sprinted to catch up with you. I was like, I see that umbrella, and I'm going to try to get under that thing.
So you were sprinting to the umbrella, not to Lucy.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I mean,
let's be honest.
I was, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right, good
That's okay. I don't blame you.
Lucy, can you just help me understand the level of fear that you had yesterday? Because you're used to tornadoes. You're used to bad weather.
I'm like pretty good. Like if I know there's going to be bad weather, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I have to drive. In tornadoes, it's like they're very terrifying, but it's a very small path of land that usually gets like really destroyed. And so tornadoes, I usually go stand on my porch and I put my arms up like Superman, like I'm a dad. And I just look and I watch the tornado come. And then I know, okay, too close, go inside. So I have a good routine for tornadoes. I've never really dealt with like flooding like this before. before. And so it was probably 5 minutes into my drive where the water was like slowly creeping up. And there was a point where it was like near the top of my tires. And I drive like a sedan. So like it wasn't crazy. I wasn't driving like a Ford F-150 and it was up to my tires. But it was so scary because I didn't know how to drive in it. And everyone was turning around. And I said, I can't turn around.
Lucy,
I don't want to go back to the office.
Lucy, I need to explain to everyone here. Everyone needs to know this. No one knows how to drive in it because it's unprecedented weather. Like, this is the new normal. No one's going to teach you how to drive in that. And here's what I will tell you, Lucy, because I've seen the video. And this is the part that's frustrated me about climate change over the last 3 years, Stugotz. When it happens far away from you, when it happens to poor brown people somewhere in another country that doesn't speak English, and you see this apocalyptic flooding that's just taking out infrastructure, you don't feel it the same way as when your car gets stuck because you didn't know I-95 could flood.
Then you feel it.
Well, but this is the thing. You see video everywhere. Right now, all over the country, people are seeing video everywhere of what the hell's going on in South Florida and Pensacola, where all those cars are stuck. And you might not feel it until it's your car there, and you got to go 3 days later, and some fish is in it, and a watermelon, and Scott Hansen is yelling at people because your car and life have been turned over because you got one car, and now it's in the middle of what feels like the ocean. But no, the ocean's coming. This is the skies. This is just the skies belching out more diarrhea than it's ever been in human history.
Truly, Dan, thanks for making me move here. Really, I'm super happy it worked out that way. Thank you.
I don't know. They told me never to do it in Miami, Stugotz. Everyone warned me. They said, don't do it in Miami.
I'm glad you listened.
But it's because of the help.
Right.
It's because you can't get people to not live in New York and Los Angeles and do this.
That email last night where we were kind of like, all right, so we're working tomorrow, but you don't have to. Was kind of like when my wife tells me that I don't have to go to Sunday dinner at her parents' house, but I know that if I don't, I'm going to get in trouble.
Okay, so
you're going to be judged.
No, but here's the thing. So
Right.
So let me explain to people the pressures of self-employment, okay? Because when I tell you it does keep me up at night, that all of this wonderful studio is right on the bay. And Biscayne Bay is always flooding. Like, I'm waiting for the day that I have to come in Valerie's Jeep and circle back around because I didn't think of helicopters. And so when you're self-employed like this and you see these storms coming and you're on every weekend with climate scientists who are telling you, screaming, nobody knows how bad this is. How is it that the government and the newspapers and the television and the media aren't doing a better job of telling everybody that South Florida is going to be under the ocean faster than you think? It's not 2050. It's happening right now.
You're doing that every weekend? It's a terrible way to spend a weekend.
It is. Why do you think I've been crazy for 3 years?
Take a break.
That's just why.
Hey, watch a game. Take a gummy. Do anything.
I tried Rays baseball for an entire season of medicine.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. This year has gone by so quickly. Reaching the halfway point of the year is an excellent time to reflect on your mental health journey, assess your progress, and make plans for the future. Ask yourself, what's something you're proud of in 2024 so far? What's something you still want to accomplish this year? When life goes fast, it's important to take a moment to celebrate your wins and adjust what doesn't currently work for the rest of the year. Therapy can help you take stock of your progress and set achievable goals for the next 6 months. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Reflecting on the first half of the year and planning for the next can help you stay proactive about your mental health. By celebrating your progress, setting new goals, and enhancing your support systems, you can continue to foster your well-being and resilience. Take a moment. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Dan Le Batard.
If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be.
Stugotz.
Standing outside with my mouth open wide. If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
So I come in last night, and our executives are genuinely concerned about, well, we can't make anybody cut. Like, it has to be safety first. It has to be. We've got an emergency flash flood situation. But DraftKings is like tapping a watch. Hey, we need more hours of content than anyone else does, and fast. Breathing on our neck, gambling giant. Like, yes, but we need to feed the machine. What do you think we built those studios for you for? Like, you got to get in there because it's big sports time. So it's just unfortunate that today's show has been canceled and we can't talk about all the wonderful things that happened for Boston sports last night in what was probably one of the best nights in Boston sports history, with Tom Brady being inducted into the Hall of Fame and the Celtics going up 3-0. But it's unfortunate that we can't talk about that today because it's the first ever show postponement because employees first, health first.
Was it postponed? Was it delayed? Was it canceled? I'm not certain. Like, what are we doing here? Canceled?
We are talking right now.
Right, we are. Right, technically we are.
No, but it's a postponed show. We can't talk about sports, weather delay, because we've got to talk about everything that's happening in South Florida. The show is too self-involved. It's narcissistic. It navel gazes. No one can get in today because everyone's scared.
So are we going to do a doubleheader?
Free baseball.
A doubleheader? Like two shows?
Yeah, so it's postponed. We got to do a doubleheader.
Maybe we can do that.
That's too far.
I like the wordplay, but shut up.
So I had an option to come in today. I mean,
you did have an option. Man, what do you mean?
I didn't read the email.
Because you're not in the Slack. It was optional for everybody, and you guys are saying you felt pressure to come in today, but
it's a pressure on myself. Like the email was perfectly. You don't have to be here. Family first, safety first. But I was just like, damn it.
Dad, the great ones tell the weather, not today. And that's what we did here in the studio. We told the weather, not today.
I am surprised that Chris and Roy were able to make it in from Broward. I will explain to people, Stugotz, because I am actually following this stuff closely enough that it is very bad for my mental health.
I made it from Palm Beach.
All three of you made it from Broward. And yesterday when he left the show, because of what Lucy and Jessica were driving in, Chris was the first executive to alert anybody, hey, we've got a real weather problem approaching because Florida has been under 3 days of flash flood alerts. It's all over Florida. It's worse in Sarasota than it is here because it's the kind of rain that is not precedented. You get in one day way too much rain, and what ends up happening is everything floods, even things that I've never before seen flood. Even places in South Florida where I'm like, that flooded too easily. Wait till King Tide gets here, and God forbid we're already flooded and in King Tide, and then a hurricane comes. Like, we're in the middle of it, right? We're broadcasting from this, and the part that I can't get my head around, Stugotz, is we're totally helpless. Like, so what good does it do to talk about it again and again and complain that the media is not covering it correctly and complain that all our leaders are bought? As incidentally, by the way, young people are more active here than anybody because of how mad they are at their parents and grandparents for using up the entire earth. So there are a whole bunch of helpless young people out there who actually want to do something, but they don't want to be in these climate change science meetings I'm in on the weekend that are ruining my weekends. Who wants to be in on those where you can just hear scientists scream like, why does no one know what's coming? How do we get peacefully arrested?
Every weekend?
Not every weekend.
Bi-weekly, can we make it?
Too much. Too much, Stugotz. Like, really? Do you need an exact number on this?
Yeah, I do. I'm concerned about you. I mean,
I'm trying to help.
How?
By being on a conference call?
I don't want to be disrespectful, but in all honesty, what are you doing in those meetings?
I am finding ways to make noises. And how do we get peacefully arrested somewhere?
Do you talk on these meetings?
No, he takes the message and he brings them to the masses.
Right,
I look and I'm like, hey, Valerie, look, it's Kendall Roy in the Zoom.
At least it's a Zoom meeting. I have this at a
sad... Hey, is that Mark Ruffalo?
This on Zoom is less sad than I had it. I had it at like a convention hall where you guys just meet every week.
Honestly, no, all I'm doing is a Zoom call in my kitchen, and it really is, hey, Valerie, look, John Hamm.
Okay, it's a who's who. That's why. Okay, now I get it.
It's a bunch of people getting together with climate scientists. They yell and scream, can you guys do anything?
I want in.
Yeah, it's deeply depressing. And it's why today's show is canceled. Unfortunately, because it would have been a good day to talk sports. I think we had Dan Hurley booked.
Oh.
Should we do that?
I mean, let's try to do that.
It's a get.
We should, yeah, it's a get.
Ask him about weather. I'm sure his first interview.
We should do that.
We should.
We
Matt
should
Sullivan
just about
would kill
weather.
us.
We
Yes.
should do 15 minutes with Dan Hurley on
weather.
climate change.
We can't, but I want to.
I think we can.
Oh,
I think we can.
It's his first interview.
I know. I know. But that's what we used to be. We used to be that.
How about one question at the top and then all right, we're just
We
kidding.
used to be that. The thing that would ask Dan Hurley 12 minutes of climate change questions. We did. Billy did that stupid mass dancing show the day after the Super Bowl.
Oh, boy.
I think we have a video clip of Billy walking in the rain yesterday after work in a full wetsuit. Do you guys have that video we can throw
Really?
up there for people? Yeah, look, there's Billy right there. He's in the yellow right there, running across in a full,
like the Gordon's fisherman.
Oh,
like a full fisherman's
You
outfit.
know what? Can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys get Billy in the Zoom real quick? Because he couldn't get in today. I just want to talk to him because he discovered that outfit because he's a hoarder. He didn't know it was in his car. He throws his car is a closet.
Yep.
And he throws so much shit in there that he fished around and he found something that prepared him for that kind of storm, even though I don't think any of us are prepared for that storm. Do any of you even own clothing like that?
No. But yesterday it all paid off for Billy. The hoarding all paid off. That's why he does it, Dan. I mean, in the event of an emergency, and he had one yesterday and he was prepared.
I had a tiny umbrella, not like the one you have, Dan. It was kind of like maybe like a pizza pie umbrella, so it's very small. So I wore a trash bag out. That was kind of my protection.
You came in with a trash bag, didn't you? I saw a wet trash bag. Did you discard it?
Discarded
you came
it,
in,
yeah.
I got it. Honestly, Tony, you've never looked more like Superman. Like, you looked like a superhero coming in here trying to save the show and do a sports show today. Unfortunately, it's been canceled, which is
good because I had a lot of takes on Luca, Dan.
Nope, not right now.
It's too bad. That we're not going to be able to get to that today because that
You do have
would
a
have been.
mean in 5 minutes.
Tigers -1. I mean,
Yeah, I know you want to talk sports.
he's -1.
And it's just unfortunate that there are no sports to talk about today and that it's the first postponement in show history. We have never had that happen before. And by the way, I think we got to get used to it. Because this is the new normal, right? This is just a day in June. Hurricane season has started, but none of the storms have actually gotten here. I've been talking, honestly, Stugotz, I'm not joking when I say this. I've been talking with people about preparing for apocalypse situations because where I live, we will be evacuated. It's not a place where I can stay if one of these storms comes here.
No, you should get out. Are those separate meetings, those conversations? I mean,
From the climate change
Yes,
people? Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I come out of the climate change meeting and then I immediately go to Meadowlark and I'm like, you guys have to create a scenario where this breathing gambling monster that wants the 70 hours of content a day can make sure that I can broadcast from somewhere other than Lost at Sea.
You got to get these meetings back to back. Just get them all over with. One
Right.
chunk of the week.
Why do you think I'm not sleeping? Had you guys thought about that?
Are you going to move? Seriously, I'm concerned about you. You live right on the ocean, man.
Stugotz, you can't move in South Florida. We're building straight up. If there's a storm here, it's just going to be cranes hitting each other. There's no place to live that's affordable. Everything's being built straight up.
Man, I'm just trying to get you up to Broward County, a little closer to me. That's all I'm trying to do. It's safe up there.
We want to go to lunch with them? You guys going to have nice lunches?
I don't live on the water. I'm surrounded by land. I mean, yeah, it floods, but you know what? It's safer. I mean, nice studios up there.
Do you guys think, I asked this question sincerely because, I'm looking at video and one day Vegas's downtown floods and the hotels are flooded. And I'm like, okay, that's the desert. How does that happen? And so I imagine the inconvenience of that, because flooding, it kills a lot of people. It's dangerous. People were sent home yesterday, flash floods. It's dangerous for life, obviously. But there are places flooding all over America and the world that didn't used to flood because of the amount of rain coming. And I am just genuinely curious, because when it affects you, it gets more personal. The amount of cars stuck on our roadways yesterday made me feel deeply for the people who have those cars and might not be able to get to work today, and is just the beginning of whatever the hell is coming this way on both coasts. You guys thought or think what when you see that there's flooding in strange places that aren't connected to you?
We're all going to die.
I have top 5 athletes that connote weather.
Oh, please. It's too bad we're canceled today and we're not doing a show.
So I shouldn't do
no,
this?
well, we would have done this if we had been doing a show today. Top 5. That would have, how great would that have been?
Right. Ryan Weathers.
Is this OLI?
Yes. JT Snow. Tiki Barber and Ron Dane. Thunder and Lightning. Kurt Flood. Storm Davis. Sonny Gray. Terry Von Erich. The Texas Tornado.
You have a list better than that, huh?
That's all OLI.
Yeah. Dan Marley.
Wow.
Thunder Dan. Number 5, Tim Raines. Number 4, Ray McLeod. Number 3, Hale Irwin. I was proud of that one. Number 2, Brian Windhorst. Windy. And number 1, Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, wow.
It's too bad we didn't have a show to do that today.
Yeah,
It would have been so good to have today.
Folks, we are this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. With same-game parlays, live betting, odd boosts, and so much more, don't miss out as the NBA season winds down. And if you're new to DraftKings, you gotta check this out. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DAN. That's code DAN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort in Kansas, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.co/bball for eligibility, deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Don Le Batard.
I heard the hotel industry is moving away from providing shampoo and soap.
Oh, don't get me started on them.
Yeah?
Do not get me started on hotels and the stuff that they do.
Right, what they take from me, I feel like I'm entitled to take something from them. Thank you, Billy.
They're going to throw away the shampoo. They're going to throw away the soap. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the sheets, and I'm talking about the towels.
Stugotz.
Oh, we really care about the environment, so please hang up your towels. Get out of here. You just don't want to wash these towels because it's going to cost you money to wash these towels. All right? This whole thing about you're saving the whales or you're saving the turtles or whatever because I put my towel on a hanger, it is so full of it. All right? You just don't want to give me fresh towels every day. Just call it what it is. Tell me you don't want to give me fresh towels. I'm still going to throw it on the floor. All right? I feel like water is a renewable resource. And you're not really saving the ocean by using water to clean my towel, are you? Am I missing something? What am I missing? Nail right on the head. Am I missing something?
The end of the story. This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. A dolphin humped my father, and we're all wondering why. Let's turn on the news and find out how we're gonna die.
During the break, Stugotz is trying, like the producer that he's always been at his core. You have to understand that the best Stugotz would be as program director and producer on how to make other people great. Stugotz has spent the entirety of the break trying to figure out, in the panic of the worst broadcasting situation, which is the baseball rain delay filler. When broadcasters get the filler, the rain has come in and you got to stretch. You just got to talk about stuff. Stugotz is working the phones during the break. Let's get some rain delay filler guests. Let's get Craig Minervini. Let's find just anyone.
Where's Niner?
We need to talk to somebody about how does a team prepare during a rain delay? How do you rest? And then the answer is I just eat Skittles in the clubhouse. And it's just the same show, but you got to do it for 90 minutes because you don't know when when the third inning is going to restart.
When you're filling time and you filled enough time and you can't fill any more time, you will grab at anyone.
All right.
I mean,
we don't have to do the rain delay filler show yet because we've only gotten to canceled. We can't do today's show. Weather conditions. It's the first ever postponement in the history of our show. Amin was already in Dallas on Meadowlark Dollars. It's unfortunate that he will not be able to give us any of the coverage there from Dallas. But Amin does join us. What do you want to talk about?
Well, actually, Dan, I'm really excited because the show is canceled. We have a plethora of topics to talk about. And let's start with you opening an umbrella inside the studio. Now, on my podcast, Cinephobe, which you get wherever you get podcasts, we have this term called 20th Century B, or 20CB for short. And when you call something 20CB, it's things that were staples of the 20th century that somehow, after the year 2000, 2001, just withered away in popular culture. And one of them is, I remember in the 20th century, anytime any character on any TV show would open an umbrella inside a house, indoors, the worst luck would happen to this person for the rest of the episode. Just terrible luck. Getting struck by lightning and, becoming bankrupt. All types of bad things would happen if you open an umbrella indoors. And you opened an umbrella indoors in the last segment, and nobody even batted an eye. And I thought to myself, damn, 20 CB.
It's interesting that you would say that, though, because the bad stuff's already happened. Like I'm opening the umbrella. How much worse can it get that I'm spending my nights up at night talking to climate scientists about what do I do about our studios if a 200-mile-an-hour storm comes through?
Dan, you poor, sweet, innocent child. You think the worst has already happened? Come on, man. Hey, you're in the building, aren't you? The building is, for now, of sound stature, right? Like electricity is working.
Let me explain something. Let me explain something
water?
to you. Let me explain something to you, Amin, that you don't seem to understand. What I watched on my television yesterday, that was sports, was the worst thing happening. It cannot get worse than that. I open up an umbrella because how much worse are you going to make it after this? But it's too bad we can't talk about that today because the show's been postponed.
Kick, save, and a butte.
Yeah, we can't talk about that today.
Well, there are other bad things that are happening. I read in the New York Times today that the hair relaxer that black women use in their hair is actually causing cancer at an alarming rate, particularly uterine cancer. And it turns out these products have a lot of carcinogens in them. I think there are about over 1,000 banned substances in hair relaxers that are banned in Europe, but here are A-OK because we just don't seem to care about black women in this country. That's pretty bad too, Dan, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Can I send him to the penalty box while he's in
should,
Dallas and we're in the middle of a postponed
you said no
show?
Sports.
Yeah.
I am concerned about all the recalls. There's a recall on candy now. There's a recall on cookie dough. I'm concerned about this. Like all the things we thought were healthy, I'm not certain they are healthy. It's going to turn out that cigarettes are the healthiest thing you can do.
You thought candy and cookie dough were healthy.
I thought you were going to let me get through that one there.
Billy has appeared in the Zoom. He couldn't get to work today either because of storm and flood. We have a video of him being prepared somehow yesterday with clothes none of us actually have for the apocalypse. Billy, weather hero Billy joins us now. You weren't able to get in, Billy? Too much flooding or what happened?
Well, no, we were supposed to be recording things for God Bless Football, and I had scheduled them for this day because this is normally my work from home day. So I spoke to my manager, and they said, okay, you handle that. And then the solution was Stugotz can come in. So now I'm in the exact same problem I had before.
So you were supposed to do something with Stugotz, and Stugotz came in, and he wasn't supposed to come in?
Correct, yes. Stugotz was not scheduled to be there today. We had days full of recordings lined up. So I got the okay to do that. And then Stugotz said, I'm going in today. And I said, well, that kind of nullifies all of the workarounds I had come up with to get that done.
I'm a hero.
So,
okay, so
yeah, I didn't know he was going in, so
okay.
Now I have to reschedule some things.
As Tony said earlier, the great ones tell the weather. Not today. I mean,
well, he did say that he didn't know that he had the option of coming in and not coming in, and he said it was because he hadn't read the Slack. But that's not the reason. He wasn't supposed to be here today. So Stugotz, on the storm day when the show is canceled, Stugotz shows up.
He was not scheduled, no, to my knowledge.
Right. Billy was scheduled. He got out of it, and because we were supposed to do God Bless Football, he's right about all of this. And the replacement
after speaking to Stugotz, by the way, who said you got to get out of that. We have recordings during the day, and I said, okay, like I'll talk to them. We'll see if we can make it work, and we made it work. And then he went in.
I didn't know the
So now we have
replacement
the
plan
same
for you.
problem.
I didn't know the replacement plan for you was me, but
I didn't know we could still be in the weeds with all this flooding.
Yes, Chris. So I thought we were calling Billy because of his what he found in his car yesterday, but it turns out Billy's resentment shows right at the start because, of course, he should be mad. He planned a show, and Stugotz is here, and we're not doing a show today because we've been postponed. Billy, how did you find that stuff in your car? Do you know anybody else who has that stuff? You are somehow the most prepared person in South Florida for what it is that's presently happening.
Well, so yesterday I actually got caught off guard. The day before I strolled in with this, I knew that I had this raincoat set. So I have a jacket and I have overalls and then I have boots. I bought the boots years ago when we were at the Clevelander and we had to walk from 7th Street. And I've just left them in my trunk because the day that I wore them, I got this bad burn right on top of my shins because they're so long. I didn't know you had to have protection. So I walked three blocks with rubber on bare skin. So I got a nasty burn and I said, I'm never wearing those again. So those have lived in my trunk for about 6 or 7 years. And then the raincoat and jumper set that I have here, I bought when I do this annual food drive. It was very rainy one year. So I went to Home Depot and I bought about 6 sets. I bought for everyone in my family that was there. And I lucked out because I'm a hoarder. Sometimes things just stay in the right place. And this time this set was in the right place and it was in my car. So I walked in, I snuck in on Monday wearing the full set with the jacket and the pants and the rain boots. And I think only Chris Cody saw me. And I snuck right into the studio. I took it off. I got there early. It was fine. I let it dry in the corner. Then yesterday it wasn't raining when we got in and I wasn't expecting the rain, but I said, just in case I'll bring the jacket and the pants, but I left the boots in the car. And then there's very bad weather when we left, lots of flooding. I had to go across the street to the car. So I went over there and I didn't have my boots. So my shoes got all wet and now I have the sniffles because my feetsies and my socks and my shoes were all wet. So I'm battling, but making do.
So, Billy, hold on a second, because that's the old Cuban myth of if you get caught out in the rain and you go back inside, you're going to get sick.
Oh,
so you're already attributing
get that.
Oh, sorry.
That's video, Billy. That's
I didn't give consent
video.
to
You know
film
what?
that.
Okay, there we go. Billy, we're doing a show.
Yes.
And,
Okay.
and it's for an audio audience. And when you go and say, oh, surprise, because there's video on the screen that only you're reacting to.
That was a Greg Cody move.
It's
right
not
there.
helping the show. It's being Chris's dad. Tony, you were saying?
I was saying, it's just the funny of getting caught out in the rain and then equating that to sick is very 20 CB.
What does that mean?
20th century, you know what?
Yeah, thank you, Amin.
It happened in the 20th century. We used to talk about it all the time. People would go outside in the rain.
I forgot he was there.
He got sick. Now,
I will say this. So I was concerned about that because obviously the streets were messed up. It took a lot longer to get home. So I drove well over an hour with wet shoes and wet socks. And I said, this is going to come back to bite me. So I drank some emergency when I got home. I didn't take a full shower, but what I did was I went and I sat at the edge of the tub and I washed my feet in warm water. And I went knees down with warm water because I thought, you know what? My whole body didn't get wet, but like knees down are wet. So maybe if I do the warm water, it counteracts the cold water. So I did that for like 10 minutes. I rubbed them, then I put on a towel, and then I put on socks immediately so that my feet wouldn't get wet because I figured my body doesn't know if I'm taking a full shower or half a shower, so I could trick my body by just doing knees down with warm water. But no, my body knew, and I'm still getting sick now. It didn't work out.
So wait, you did half a shower, but then later on that day, you did a full shower.
Yeah. I mean, I did more of a soak, I would say, than a shower because I didn't use soap. You know, I didn't rub in soap. I thought that I could trick my body.
That's why. That's why your body wasn't tricked.
Because it was soap. That's what I was trying to figure out. If the warm water washes off the cold water and the cold water, whatever it is that makes you sick from the cold water, or if you need the soap to get that water off. I figured after like 3 or 4 minutes in the tub with the warm water cascading down my shins and down my feet that I'd be fine. But I guess I needed the soap to wash off the cold water residue.
It's also the scrubbing action. You need to scrub it off. That cold water just doesn't come right off. You've got to scrub it off because it really sets in, especially if it's particularly rainy. That's where the disease comes from. It comes from the residue that was not scrubbed off, that just clung to the surface of your skin.
Well, let me ask you a question, Mean, since you seem to know about this. because I was trying to figure out, is it the cold rainwater that is on my legs that does this, or is it the standing water that I had to walk through the puddles? Do the puddles have the sick germs and then they stick to you?
That's interesting. That's a great question, Billy. Actually, they're both one and the same. If you think about it, the standing water came from the rainwater.
Yeah.
But the rainwater coming down, probably I would say 25, 30%, disease in it. But then when it comes and it stands, it all gets together. Think about all the other diseases and all the water. They're all coming together at a convention. And they're like, hey, what's up, man? Well, I just got here. Okay, well, I've been here for like 5 minutes. It's actually pretty cool here. You want to go infect some people? Why not? And that's what happens.
So it's like a disease orgy.
I wouldn't call it an orgy. I would call it more of like a convention. They're there for work, Billy. They're not there for fun.
Guys, what happens when the AC gets brought into the mix, right? You've got the standing water, you've got the rainwater that's falling from the sky, but then the AC and all the cold air from that starts hitting you. Where does that play in the factor?
Well, I mean, look, AC. Now, you're just tempting fate right there, right? Because the AC actually makes it more comfortable and more willing for the disease to work, right? The disease does not want to be uncomfortable. It wants to be cool, just like us. And it's like, oh, thank you for blowing that AC in here. You know what? I feel extra productive right now. And that's when they really get to work infecting people.
I turned on the heater in my car, hoping that I could make it warmer to counteract, again, the cold water that was on my feet, but it didn't work out.
The heater? No, the heater doesn't work. Wait, once it's on you, Billy, like, here's the deal. Oh, my God, I can't believe I have to explain any of this. Once it's on you, now you got to scrub. Now you got to get in there with the soap and scrub it off. So turning on the heater after the fact is like putting a Band-Aid over like a gunshot wound. That's not going to work.
Did someone say heater?
Back streets back. All right. Since the dawn of mankind, we've cooked our food over an open flame and debated the best way to grill. One thing not up for debate, grilling and beer always go together. But not just any beer would do. Whether you barbecue, Texas style, or just celebrate Wednesday with burgers and dogs, I love Miller Lite. Every single time my team plays on television, I am sitting behind that television screen with a Miller Lite or 3. Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, taste as great as your barbecue. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters the most. With the Miller Lite in hand, grilling doesn't just taste great, it tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan. Or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Woo!
We are audiostack.ai.
Combining AI writing, the best synthetic voices,
with production and delivery.
Be it ads, podcasts, or VOs for video.
Just like this ad.
How would you utilize AI audio? For free.
Go to audiostack.ai/contest.
Give us just a few details.
And you could replace this spot and be heard by millions.
See webpage for T's and C's. audiostack.ai/contest.